Hey all you cool cats and kittens, it's Laura. Welcome back to my channel and to my second ever YouTube video. A shout out to my 25 subscribers who may or may not be disappointed after they watch this video. My first video was a tour of my craft space. I've referred to myself a few times during my tour as a casual crafter. My husband was making fun of me because he said, if you are such a casual crafter, why do you have a whole room dedicated to it? He's not wrong, but I thought I would explain that by calling myself a casual crafter, it means that I am always learning. Crafting isn't something I do on the daily, but it is something that I thoroughly enjoy doing and want to get better at. My craft room is very much an aspirational space, and I thought that I would continue to film videos to show folks that it's okay to always be learning. It's okay to not be perfect, as long as you are having fun and enjoying yourself. Today's video will be focused on using the Misti stamping tool. I've seen many videos out there on this tool, but I thought I would make one from the true beginner's perspective as I'm just learning how to use it myself. We'll start with the Misti stamping platform, which I have two of. The first I received for Christmas from my mom. The second I bought for myself after I realized how helpful the first one was. I keep this first one stored in the box that it came with. I keep this with my stamps and other card making supplies. The second one I store in this handy little pouch, which I purchased off of Etsy, and I keep that pouch in my weekly project life kit. Moving the box and the pouch out of the way, I am going to pull apart these Misti stamping tools and talk about each of them. The one on the left I recently installed, albeit incorrectly, some sticky grid. That's exactly what it sounds like. It is a sticky grid material. The one on the right utilizes the traditional Misti mouse pad as well as the magnets that come with the Misti. Moving on, we're going to see how each of these function in action, starting with the sticky grid. I swing the door to my Misti open. I make sure that my sticky grid is aligned, and then I place my material onto the sticky grid. Here I'm lining it up with the 7-inch mark. I rub my hand over it to make sure it's adhered, and for now I'm just going to swing the door closed to go over to the magnets. Here, I'm going to line my material up also with the 7-inch mark. Those magnets are super strong, so I do recommend if you have them and if you have this tool, just be careful so that you don't get your skin pinched in the magnets. I'm going to set these aside, and I do apologize for the light glare that appears here in a moment. I filmed this a little weird because I don't have proper equipment, so this is upside down and flipped, which is all kinds of crazy, but I thought it would work for today. I am going to use this new stamp set from Kindred Stamps for the rest of today's video. This is called Motel Family. Pulling the backing off of this stamp set, I'm going to pull down two stamps. The first, Motel Brother, which I'll use in my sticky grid Misti, and the second is Motel Sister, which I will use in the magnet Misti. The Mistis themselves are otherwise exactly the same. The difference is how I stick the material to the Misti platform. Here I'm going to start with magnets. Now I'm going to line up my stamp where I would like it on the material. I decide to move it off to the right because I do plan to cut this stamp out, and this way I can use the same material for other stamped images. I get the stamp where I want it, I swing that door down, apply some pressure to transfer the stamp from the material to the back of the door, and then lift that door up. The negative with the magnets is that these stamps are pretty sticky and they create a bit of a suction, so when you pull them off, they sometimes wiggle the material when you have magnets in play. I'm going to speed this up a little bit, but I do take some dye ink here and apply it to the stamp. And then I swing that door down to apply the stamp to my material. What's nice about the Misti is that here I do not like the impression that I get. I missed a couple of spots and it's not a full impression. So I'm able to easily re-ink that stamp. And then I can swing that door down directly on top of that image that I just stamped. Applying some pressure here. Swing that door back, and then here I get a much darker impression. Once you're done with your stamp, you always want to peel it off the Misti and clean it right away. She wasn't in too bad of shape, so I just put her aside to clean for after the video. Now I'm going to pull out the Misti with the sticky grid. Alright, I'm going to open this up and place my stamp on my material, also off to the side so that I can cut him out and reuse that paper for a different image. I swing that door down to pick up my stamp, and here is where we'll be able to see that the sticky grid material actually comes up with the stamp. I noticed that my sticky grid is a little bit bubbly, so I do need to go ahead and redo that. But plowing ahead here for the video, I ink up the stamp, give it a couple of taps with some dye-based ink. Put the ink aside, and then I swing that door down. And here I apply more pressure than I did the first time I did the Motel Sister, and I am happy with the quality here. It's perfect. I don't need to re-stamp. I pull the material off of that sticky grid, and then I put that aside so that I can color him in. Coloring him in, originally I was going to show you my coloring process, but it is something that I'm still learning, and candidly, I struggle with images that have a lot of black in them. Motel Brother would definitely have a lot of black, from his hair to some of his clothes. So since I'm still learning, I thought I would just focus on the Misti stamping tool for those who might be thinking about buying it or just bought it and not sure how to use it. One of these days, I will return with a beautifully stamped image that has loads of black that doesn't look like I just took a black Sharpie and colored in the hair and colored in the clothes. I appreciate you watching. I look forward to sharing more videos with you from the beginner/casual crafter perspective. Take care and stay well.